Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. I'm on the road, heading on a little adventure, going to meet Joe from Survival Attitude. We have a bit of a mission today. We have a survival challenge coming up. We're gonna go out, we're gonna do some filming, we're gonna work on some survival techniques. But first, before we do that, we have a pretty cool guest. We are going to meet with EJ Skullcrusher Snyder. He's going to put us on the task and really outline exactly what we're doing today. So if you're a fan of EJ Skullcrusher Snyder, Naked and Afraid, or you're just looking for some good survival tips, this might be the video for you. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Hey, EJ, what's happening, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Great to be with you. Eric, as always. Oh, you got your SXB. Joe's got the SXS. This is awesome.
It is awesome.
We ready to go?
Ready to go.
Well, so, hey, EJ, you know, most of the people watching today, they probably know exactly who you are, but, well, maybe some of the people don't. So, everybody, this is EJ Skullcrusher Snyder, 6-time Naked and Afraid survivalist. You've appeared on Dual Survival. You've been on First Man Out. Are there any other sort of things that you'd like to tell people about?
Tell you, man, life rolls fast for EJ Snyder, and I've got a lot of things coming. Yeah, you know, I've got Naked Afraid coming out this year. I've got a show called Mountain Masters that I hosted that's coming out on Inspire Network, middle of March. So a lot of stuff going on this summer. I've got a bunch of companies beat me down to do some more filming this summer. I'm working with Mr. Beast YouTube. I mean, I've got so much going on. Make sure you get over to my website, ejsnyder.com, and subscribe with your email so you don't miss any of the updates. Get all the newsletters and blogs, and we'd love to have you over there. I'm rebuilding my website. We're growing so fast. You're not going to want to get off the Skullcrusher train, let me tell you. All right, for several magazines, you know, I'm doing survival classes, which I'm laying on. I'm going on tour in April, all the way through the Midwest, from Arizona all the way up to Montana. I've got my EJ Campfire chats going on now. My YouTube's building up. I've got gear reviews going on. I got this going on. I got that going on. I tell you, it's madness.
Wow, EJ. Wow, EJ, unbelievable. First and foremost, 25 years of military and combat experience. Thank you for your service.
My own.
But a simple question: Skullcrusher. How did you get that nickname?
Oh, there we go. Go look where my damn name come from. Well, I am told that I'm kind of like the WWE of survival, the ShamWell as seen on TV of survival because of the way I throw things. But the truth of the matter is I got bullied as a young kid. And I needed that self-confidence, so I started wrestling in high school. My stepdad taught me how to box. I was too poor, so I had my friends, every time they went to karate classes or judo or jiu-jitsu or whatever they were doing, taekwondo, I had them teach me what they knew. So I was doing MMA before they called it MMA. So when I got in the Army, we used to have these boxing smokers, and I just loved fighting. Now, I've never thrown a first punch in my life, but I've thrown a hell of a lot of last punches. So I got into a barracks brawl one time, long story short, and I wound up damaging the guy's face. So in the Army, you get a lot of nicknames. So they started calling me Skullcrusher. Hey, what's up, Skullcrusher? I'm like, what are you guys talking about? So, you know, I look over in the other formation. There's this guy all bandaged up, and I'm like, oh, wow, he got it bad. And then in these boxing smokers, they used to say when I hit them with my fist, it was like getting hit with a cinder block, and it was like brushing their head in. So that nickname kind of stuck. I was kind of a WWE fan. I just embraced it. And now I'm the kind of guy with that attitude that if I see anything in life, any challenge, if there's a wall in front of me, if I can't go around it, over it, or under it, I'll go right through it. That's how I roll.
Thank you for that. What a backstory. Unbelievable.
So, hey, EJ, you know, we've had an opportunity to work in the past on a few different things. Your Skullcrusher, SXB, and SXS. Was able to cover this on my channel. Other things like, for example, your Purity water bottle systems. You've been working with those guys. There's the aftershock preparedness, survival food, and you've had some survival kits.
That's unbelievable, unbelievable. But EJ, now we all get a chance to get together and demonstrate and showcase your new series of survival and outdoor skills videos. Tell us more about that.
Let me tell you, you know, I appreciate you, Eric. Always testing out my gear. I'm about being prepared. It's the stupid guy that walks out this front door and doesn't have a lighter in one pocket and a lighter in the other. I want my folks, the everyday Joe or Joan, to be ready for a bad situation. So that's why you go to EJSnyder.com, go to my geared up page. All my gear, I'm all about water and fire and being prepared, these knives, everything. But now I'm like, I want to bring this training. I give survival classes. It's over on my service page, but not everybody can get out there. So, hey, I'm sitting here in 2020 during the height of COVID in the summer. I'm like, I can't be locked in the house. I can't be locked down. I'm just not that way. I'm a free spirit. So what am I going to do? So I grabbed my son, we grabbed the 4K camera, and we hit the woods. And we have developed 11 video series, 3 shelter videos, 1 fire, 1 water, 1 food. Then we get into a 2-part video series on survival tips, hacks, and tricks. And then we cover the tools of the trade, care of the tools, use of the tools, what the heck kind of tool do you want, and another 2-part series. And I wrap it all up with a knife only. And Eric, I grabbed the SXB and went out there with that sucker. So you're getting all this value. You can see it on EJSnyder.com. And it's got all the basics that I teach in my 3-day basics course. You can't find a better value. Now the sale's over, but it's still a good value. Almost 14 hours of EJ Snyder. You want me on TV? You want to learn from the best? The #1 ranked survivalist in the world of known survivalists, of 100 known survivalists by the 10's top survivalists in the world. Go see it. It's the proof's in the pudding. You want the best? You got the best. I'm not Kiss. I'm EJ Snyder.
Well, the best part about all this is everybody's going to get to see some of this in action right now because EJ, Joe and I are heading out into the bush, and we get the teaching and training of none other than Skullcrusher himself.
Whoa, slow down now, Eric.
Whoa.
I'm going to send you guys I'm going to have to interview you and make sure. I got to find out what your PSR scores are.
Whoa.
We're going to have to find out where you guys are starting at. And since the 2 years is going together, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a Skullcrusher Extreme rating, an SXR. I'm going to take your PSR, and I'm going to take your PSR, Joe, and I'm going to put them together. And I'll tell you what, brother, we're going to get an average score, and we're going to see if you go up, if you go down, you go back up, in the middle, and all around. And at the end of it, if you didn't learn nothing, we're going to find out what kind of team you guys are with an SXR.
Well, I'm not worried because I know we're going to learn from the best and we are going to crush it. So
we're going to crush it. We're going to crush it, EJ. We're going to do it. We're going to survive.
I have faith in you too. I have faith in you too.
Yes.
The best thing I preach to people, when you get yourself in a bad situation, the best way to start survival and the most passive way is to find some water. Because around water, you're going to find, you got to get a drink. All animals are going to be like you. They're going to be thirsty. They're going to go there for a drink of water. Plus, they're going to hunt. There's all kinds of stuff around there to eat. And you're just going to have to get a fire. So, you know what? Hedge your bets. I'm going to allow you this one item, but not just these knives, but I'm going to let you grab a ferro rod. All right? You get a ferro rod, and you get the live fire gear fire tin. So I know it's going to be a wet spot. I really want you guys to have fire. I don't want you to worry about it. So take that with you in these knives. And that's it. And then you figure out how to get some water and you make some weapons and you get some food and you cook it up and you have a good time.
Yeah. I can't believe it. He has faith in us.
are you ready for this?
No. But we got to do it anyway. We're committed.
I love it. It's awesome.
All right, EJ.
Thank you.
We'll see you when we get back.
We will
All
get
right,
back.
watch those videos. Get your stuff together. Now, what are you doing sitting there? Get out there and survive.
Oh, God, I'm going to go.
Yeah! All right, survival attitude. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Eric? How you doing, buddy?
Good. So, all right, well, hey, we're on the road. We're heading to our survival challenge. Joe, we've been talking about this a little bit. EJ put us to the test. We got to be a little bit strategic here. He gave us a very specific set of parameters. Now, we're going to stick to the parameters, yet at the same time, we've been talking about this. We have a little bit of a limited opportunity here, and we have to make it count. So we're going to run a little bit of a scenario. What do you think?
I'm up for the challenge. You know that.
You're always up for the challenge. So what we're going to do, we're gonna simulate a hiking scenario. It's as if we're going out for a day hike. So what we would typically have for a day adventure. Now the scenario being here, well, Joe, hopefully we're gonna find our way, but sometimes bad things happen.
They do. Expect it. Yeah, so the whole point of being prepared to me is anticipating the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario truly being is you got to spend the night unexpectedly and you're ill prepared. You didn't bring enough gear, you don't have a bedroll, water's getting low, flashlight, you know, did you bring batteries, do you have a full charge, whatever it may be. And so here you are, night drops, it's gonna get colder, you're with your family, your friends, you may not necessarily know where you are because you're off trail. Things didn't go accordingly. What are you going to do to survive the night?
That's exactly what we're running into. So with the teaching and training of EJ Skullcrusher Snyder, we're gonna do our best. We're gonna go into this scenario as if we got turned around. We thought we knew where we were going. Unfortunately, things didn't go quite as planned. It's getting darker, we're running out of daylight, and resources are getting slim. So are we gonna survive?
We're gonna have to, you know, and just like anything, you look at, you know, what EJ is saying, and that's utilize the resources that you have, but at the same time, expect that if that happens, you may only have a granola bar with you, you're gonna be hungry, so getting in that mindset of, okay, what are the bare essentials I need to live through the night? And we'll talk about that, shelter, food, water, firelight, all that, but yeah, I'm ready for this challenge.
You ready?
Ready, bro.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Both Eric and Joe have a PSR of 6.6 individually, based on their mental, experience, and skill. They will now be given an XSR, Extreme Skullcrusher rating. This will be a combined total of both of their PSRs. The rating will go up or down based on their performance and how well they apply what they've learned in the video throughout this challenge. Their starting XSR is 6.3.
All right, so we've been out hiking, spent the day. We got lost. Unfortunately, a little bit turned around. Joe, you said you knew where we were going, man.
I can't believe it because the road, the path we're looking for to get out of this place was right there, and yet we walked like 50 yards and it's not here. So you tell me what we're gonna do next.
It's getting late. It's gotta be 10:30 at night. Temperature's dropping. It's getting pretty severe. We gotta find ourselves a shelter. We've been gathering some resources as we go. We're gonna have to get a fire going to stay warm tonight. So, Joe, at this point, man.
Yeah, I noticed in your glance of headlamp there, luckily you brought that, this shimmer. And I think this is what I call a silver birch. And it is worth gold if you have to get a fire started. So I hate to break the resource down, but I think this is already actually passed. I think it's dead. So we're gonna shred this off, take it. But this won't light well, unless we can get some really fine paper out of it, but we need more of that paper, and notice behind it is a white birch. This will catch in this cold weather. So do me a favor, can you hold this? A possible pouch in this, we need a bunch. Keep it dry, a lot of it's wet. This is dry, this is wet. Oh, look at this, we got lucky. Ho ho ho! All right. All right, so this is enough. All we need is to get a fire started. I'm gonna take the fine stuff and put it in my pocket. And this stuff I'm gonna put in this pouch, open the air. All right, let's get out of here. We're gonna find shelter.
The problem we've had is, well, unfortunately we only have one headlamp, and mine is definitely starting to get low on batteries. We've been out here for a long time. I'm nervous we're about to run out. Joe didn't have one. We weren't expecting to be out this late, and we have to find a shelter. So we're gonna hunt for a spot. We've been walking through this patch of woods for a couple hours. I don't know, Joe, go ahead of me. It has not been easy. Some trudging, some bushwhacking.
I'm not going down there. There's water. It's wet.
Okay.
So let's go to high road.
High road.
Yep. We'll find the opposite side of the wind, which is on the other side of the mountain, coming over. And
Hey, look at this.
that'll work.
Look at this.
That'll work. I can do that. We can do that, Eric.
Check this out.
Yeah. Got it. No choice.
What do you think?
Yeah.
It's starting to snow.
Yeah. We'll make that work. Half that shelter was built already for us.
All right,
And the
that's
wind's
a good
going
call.
over us. The wind's going over us.
I agree. The
Done.
wind, it is. It's coming right in our face. All right, that's good.
Look at, there's even a log over the top we can use to kind of help fortify this a little bit. Look above us. There's nothing that's going to fall and crash, even if it gets windy tonight. I think everything here looks to be alive or leaning away from us.
Good call, good call. Widowmakers, we have not as many. This one's already been done.
Yep.
This is a safer spot. We have an opening, and if we decide we can make a fire,
Yep.
we need some good ventilation. So, dude, your headlamp's going dead, man.
Uh-oh. All right.
Just to tell you.
All right.
And if this is any indication of exactly what we're going to be up against,
I think this is the definition of pitch black, man.
It is.
All right. Well, we're gonna need alternate light source. What do you think? Do you think we could make like a torch?
I think we need to make a fire first.
Okay.
Because it's I need to warm up. It's really cold, and from that maybe we can spark torches. We need some light to make torches. We can't just make a torch in complete darkness because we're using the knives.
No, I hear you.
So we need some light to make the torches. Why don't we try to make a fire first? All right, Eric, headlamp's dead. All right, our only option. Little fire starter. Good thing you brought it, Eric. Okay. You see down here? Make a fire right here. It's all wet. Here's the tinder you got. I'm taking a piece off. Okay. Here we go. Taking this. Here we go. Look at it relit.
Smothering.
It seems both Eric and Joe are starting to get mentally frustrated with the task at hand. They need to apply what they've learned in the video and stay in the game. In a survival situation, your mindset is everything. And because both of them are being frustrated and allowing the situation to dictate their actions, as opposed to their actions dictating the situation and what they've learned in the video and applying it successfully, their XSR has gone down to 6.0.
Okay, couldn't get it going with the birch bark. Now it's time for... Oh.
Joe, I gotta put the camera down, man. I'm gonna help you grab some stuff now that we have a little bit of light.
Let's do it. We need to get some bigger sticks.
Yep, all right, we're gonna start working on this.
All right, we need bigger logs quick. We got a minute. You see the light of the fire?
Can you still see?
Yep.
Nice.
Here's one. Take it.
Okay.
Right there. I know I got it. I'm safe. I'm not losing that fire. Just with this knife, it's not going to hurt me. That's wet. That's dry.
Joe, hey, do me a favor. I need some of that light. Can you just slide over a little bit? I gotta see while I try to chop this thing down. It's hard to see where you're aiming with these cuts. Gotta use this for a fire lay so we can get that up off the ground. It's pretty wet. At least we had enough light to get started, man. There it is. Nice. I got it. So part of what was so difficult working here was having no light. So now that we have our fire over there, at least going reasonably, we're starting to get some torches going here so we can see around, and at this point hopefully gather some more appropriate wood. So getting this here, at least now I can sort of scout and look around and start to find some other resources. I mean, you can see there's some more birch bark, and if we're careful, hopefully we can find some sort of dead branches with good, you know, maybe pine, some sap, things that are going to help to continue this fire, keep it strong, burning hot, so we can get some stuff that's maybe just a little bit damp, but you can see we're actually gaining on this in terms of having light. That's a big deal. So got to keep moving here. It's pretty critical.
I found a couple, like literally 2 pieces of, I think, dry wood. So this is all soaked. Let me take this knife, and I got to get this wet debris off. I like that. That actually is very functional, that cutout. We are going to get this so dry. Look at this. Garbage. We can't burn that. We're done. All right. Wipe the knife, putting it away. Please be dry. Not really. That's better than nothing. Oh yeah.
All right, so what do you think? Some more torches?
Yes.
All right.
If we're to make this shelter, we need light. If one fire goes out, I am not dealing with that again, sparking again. It's completely soaked out here. So yeah, we're gonna make multiple fires.
All right.
Let's do it. Can you make a torch, Eric?
Yeah, I'm on it.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Okay. That's good. Nice.
Awesome.
That'll go. You finding some bigger stuff?
Yeah, right behind us.
All right, good.
But I wish I had a stump so I could take the bigger knife and just chop it.
Right.
It's kind of still a little green. Must have been snapped by the wind. And I'm struggling breaking it apart.
All right.
But we have enough coal bed here that I believe we could sustain this fire. The wind seems to be dying down.
It is dying down, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think we're gonna, and I'm already warm.
No, it feels really good.
Yeah,
That
so we
fire's
got,
heating up. We got a little ember bed going now,
yeah.
luckily. So granted, we did not get this much off the ground, but I think if we make a fire for tonight next to our shelter, pretty soon we got to start thinking shelter.
Yeah, like I'm ready.
All right.
Let's get a bit more wood.
Couple nice sized logs, right?
Yeah.
We'll get that ready.
Yeah, and let's get a bunch of these torch bundles ready.
Okay.
And we can lay them all the, right by the shelter. As one goes down, we just catch the next one.
Okay.
So let's prepare a little bit, and then our shelter building will be all the easier.
Perfect.
Did you find a honey hole yet of branches we can use for the shelter?
Still got to look.
All right, we're gonna build some torches to go deep then.
That's right.
All right, no more breaking. I'm losing energy. We need to use our tools. Follow me. Okay.
You see?
Yeah, just keep the torch lit.
Yeah.
Back it off a little bit, I can see.
Right.
Doesn't matter. Scores it. All right.
Okay.
Let's just burn these. We're good.
All right, you gonna save that one?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Good call.
All right, ready? Let's do it. Get to that fire. Make shelter. Oh, just in time. Oh my gosh. We had minutes left with this.
You get it in there?
Yeah, I'll get it in.
You need a hand?
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we'll need a hand, of course. Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's push down here. All right, we're just breaking and making some limbs for the shelter.
That was too short, right?
Then we go work. Ready?
So longer.
Oh yeah, I like it.
There you go. Careful. There it is.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
What do you think? Should we risk cutting in half? No, we need a centerpiece.
Centerpiece.
Yeah, I'll get the small. And the torch.
Yeah, and a torch.
All right, let's clear away.
Fellas, what are you doing? Oh, you watch the videos. Come on now. Apply what you learned. Keep it together. Work as a team and stay mentally tough, guys. Come on.
This one here is for that center pole. Let's actually dig this off and use it and get the fire going again.
I think you're right, 'cause it's dry.
Yeah. What do you think? Joe, you want to use this? This might not be quite thick enough. Let's use this one over here.
Use them both.
Right?
Oh, you want for the fire. The driest one for the fire. That's got all wet bark on it. I'd put that for the spine.
Yep, right here, right?
Yeah, right down the center.
Yep.
I'll break this one up for the fire.
All right.
Got it.
I'm gonna limb this up. Pull it that way, yeah.
There.
I'm gonna get all these little eye pokers off of here so we don't stab ourselves when we get in there.
Here, here's another one.
Yeah. This one here. Getting close there, Joe.
Closer. It's taking a while for this. What do you think? Close the back off?
Yeah.
Get in that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. Long enough to fit us in, as long as we curl up in a ball, right?
That's actually roomy.
It is pretty
That's
roomy.
real roomy. You got a pad or anything for the bottom? Do you bring a blanket?
I got that one
Yeah.
ground
Yeah.
sheet, luckily, but
You do?
yeah, I do have a ground sheet.
That's gonna save us.
A little bit,
It's better than being on the ground.
better than completely soaked.
Here, who cares? We'll flip it.
I think that's all right.
Here, use this or fill it. Doesn't matter. We never need to fill it. I don't need to fill the gaps. Doesn't have to be strong. Ready? The other one's coming your way. Push it down. Cover that one in there.
Actually, that's not bad. This one needs to be limbed up. You got that SXB?
Yeah. I'll light it. I pre-made a cup before. Brace yourself, because we're not interested in a race.
You're better off not sweating.
Yeah,
You sweat, you're gonna be cold tonight,
I
man.
know. So I refuse to. Even my feet are nice and cool, comfortable.
Yep.
So we're doing all right. All right, we got the torch lit again. We got to go deep though. We need to get more bough branches.
We do need to go deep.
All right, that's it. You got one?
Yeah.
All right.
Alright, hold on. We gotta come out this way. Coming at you. Coming at you. I gotta come out this way. Watch your eyeballs, people.
Gotcha.
You alright? You got enough light there?
I can see that torch is bright.
Alright, good. This might make it two.
Okay, good.
We're getting there, man.
That's actually looking really good.
It's coming together, my friend.
It is.
It's coming together. A lot of gathering, a lot of building, but I don't know. What do you think? A little more?
I think about 10 more minutes of that,
Yeah,
and we could throw leaves or debris on it if we want to.
absolutely. We're getting tight. Let's get some skinnier stuff and just start filling in the gaps.
Agreed.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Eric, Joe, I know you watched my videos. Remember your training. Apply it properly. You can do this.
So as I said, when you're selecting a site, you want your area to be dry as possible for your fire, because water is the enemy of fire. So what do you do if you're in a wet environment like a swamp, down near a water area, or possibly it's snowing? Well, you want to elevate your fire, get up off the ground. And the way you do that is you make a platform. And you want to use green wood. For this demonstration today, I'm using some dry wood, obviously. For time expedience, I want to just show you the proper technique. So what you start with is about 7 green logs, or small
pieces of timber, roughly about 1.5 inches in diameter, 2 inches, and you lay them down side by side.
Are you making a lay?
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, I want to center one long too.
Yeah, try to get them even.
Yeah.
That's good.
Then what you do is you get some mud or some dirt off the ground, and you layer it on top of those sticks.
Joe, there's a nice mound of dirt.
Where?
Right here, buddy.
Are you serious? All right, that's golden.
Yeah.
So basically you're going to wind up creating a dirt mound that's relatively dry. So once you put this dirt on there, sand, mud, what have you.
Well, it is all rock.
Is it?
It's
That's not a
99%.
bad thing, though.
Nope.
Pack it in there, make sure it's level. Then you take your next layer of sticks, the same diameter, and you start laying them across.
Super saturated ground. It's been raining, snowing, days. At this point, you know, getting this up off the ground a little more, maybe a little more in there. Another scoop. A couple more scoops. Got that? Yep.
And you're layering it, getting it off away from the moist ground or the snow, and there you go.
We don't have the lumber.
Yeah, you're right. We don't have a lot.
No, some going crossed.
What I like to do is I always like to make it at least one more level higher.
Ready?
Oh,
A little more dirt. Just digging my hands in.
Put some more dirt on there.
Rocks and dirt.
And what you're doing is with the logs and the dirt, you're just creating earth. And as your fire heats up, it's going to dry the dirt around it. But till you get to that point, you want to make earth for yourself.
All right, ready? Hold on.
Get that ready.
Yeah, now I'm getting it ready.
All right, so we're gonna have to transfer.
Let's light this first.
As it heats up, it dries the dirt, dries out the green wood, and will slowly burn to the ground. By the time this mound, this platform is burnt through from your fire, the ground and underneath is going to be very dry.
Hold on. This stuff is dry, this birch, we got lucky.
So as you see, we did a pretty nice job with our shelter. We did the absolute best we could. Took us a couple of hours of work, but well worth it, and at the same time tending to our light fire. I mean, that wasn't intended for really warmth as much as it was to keep us moving here. And at this point, we at least have the ability to cut down on wind. We're getting our fire started closer to our shelter. You can see the direction the wind's blowing. It's actually blowing the smoke away from the shelter. So that should work out pretty well. Hopefully the wind doesn't completely change direction, but once this heats up and gets enough temperature underneath it, it should cut down on the amount of smoke. And at least we're gonna have ourselves the fire near our feet, and we can spin around if we have to. Gotta keep these torches going. It's been a lot of work to keep everything up and running the entire time.
Not that it mattered, it was raining and snowing earlier.
Oh my God, it absolutely was.
All right, please pray. All right, let's get some coals. They can only help. Up here, if it sits on top, all the heat will help everything burn. Okay, all right, we're getting there.
We are getting there.
I feel better about tonight.
Yes,
It's late and I'm tired.
it is getting late. It's almost 1 o'clock, man.
All right. More room in here than it looks. The leaves
You
already.
you going high road or low road?
I'm going deep right now. I'm an old man.
You're going deep.
Yeah. Oh. But I'll come out and face the fire with you. Oh. Back against the wall is better?
Back against the wall.
Oh. Yeah, dude. This is good.
Enough.
These leaves dried out a little bit.
It's actually not terrible. This rock hurts a bit.
Who cares? At least we ain't exposed.
I'll tell you what. There's no wind at all.
I hear
In that
I hear it out there, though.
I hear it out there, but there's none in here, and that feels really good.
Oh, I'm roached, dude.
Good work.
You worked hard. think I'm running low on water though for tomorrow.
We are running low on everything.
We have nothing. I didn't even bring her granola bar.
You about ready for bed? I gotta go to bed.
I thought I was sleeping already.
That feels good.
Good thing we got a couple logs to keep the fire going tonight.
Yeah.
Morning, Eric. All right, it was a tough night at the shelter, but I tell you right now, without it, I think we'd be in trouble. We cut down on the wind. It dropped probably low 20s, but I had hardly any wind coming in there. And now the challenge is we got to get out of here. Fire went out last night. I was too cold to move and keep it going, but to get out of here, I have no water. I know you don't either, so we need to figure out how to get some charcoal out of this. We need to get some water, some sand, some grass. We got to do a couple things. We're going to make a bushcraft water filtration system. But the key is to get charcoal. So here's our fire that went out. Let's just see if we can gather any out of it. We'll put it in a possible pouch, and we'll go from there. Can't lose any of this. Every little bit of this stuff counts. Okay, some there. This is a big piece. I think we can get some. Oh yeah. All right. A little bit on here. Might get a little bit of sand in the charcoal, but that's part of the filtration, so we'll be fine. All right, maybe a little piece here, and that's all we got.
So as Joe was saying, it was a pretty rough night, but the debris shelter was enough just to cut down on the wind, and for a while, at least while the fire was going, probably gave us an additional 20 degrees, and that's a big deal on a night like last night.
Hot rocks helped out too.
Yeah.
Just a couple on our laps, and I've had one behind my back. I was warm for a little bit, enough to just wait for the sun to come up, but now I'm cold again.
So, well, the good news is we spent a few minutes scouting around, and it's going to be hard for you to see, but we think we're seeing what looks to be a clearing down that direction. And I don't know, it looks like it might be a water source. We're going to try. We're going to hope for the best. It's a ways out. It's probably 15 minutes of bushwhacking, but that's not too bad. So we're going to get some supplies, pack up our stuff, and we're going to start to move that way and hope for the best, see what we can find. So just as we had hoped, we do seem to be coming across a nice water body. So we're going to go down there, check it out. Should have some more resources, but most importantly, maybe we can catch our bearings and start to figure things out. I mean, we at least know the direction of the sun. We know the time of day, roughly. So we're starting to gain on an understanding of really what direction we're facing. But for now, continue to get some resources together. We're going to grab some water, so we'll go check it out.
Eric, Joe, what are you guys doing? Come on now, you can do this. Yeah, come on. Hang in there.
All right, so we've been working on gathering some supplies for our water filter. We need a little bit of moss just for the very top of the filter. It's going to help keep out some of the larger particles. So finding a decent source here. I'm going to try to avoid as much dirt as possible because of course that dirt's going to wash down through the rest of the filter. So I'm just going to kind of take a little slice here, which this is going to be more than enough. Again, it's really just for the top of that filter. I'm just going to kind of clean this up a little bit. Try to get to the point where it's still intact, but I'm getting rid of some of the impurities. Just going to clean this up a little bit. This is going to go right in the very top of the filter. just to kind of scrub that water up as it starts its way all the way through to the bottom. Not perfect, but it's decent, and that's going to make a nice start to our filter right on top. All right, so the objective here, we're making a water filter. Now this actually, for me, starts with my mentality on what I carry when I actually go out hiking. Most of the time, I'll have two different types of bottles. You'll notice I have some sort of a metal canteen. So this here happens to be titanium. And then I usually have some sort of plastic. And in most cases, I'll have two of these and one of these. That carries enough water, but more importantly, it gives me flexibility in my kit to improvise if I need to. So in this particular scenario, we're gonna take this water bottle and we're gonna turn this into our water filter. We're gonna actually need a dirty container to gather the water, this for the filter, and then the clean container, which we're gonna filter down into this. Now, we do believe that the water that we have is clean enough that if we use the filter, that's enough for clean, safe drinking water. But if it was a worse source or something that might have more bacteria in it, you can filter down into the water bottle, the metal bottle here being key. You can start a fire and you can actually boil this and fully purify it. We're not going to do that today. We don't think we need to. So the key for us is, well, let's just say you don't have a third bottle and you actually need that dirty container to gather the water. This has more than enough in it to provide you both a filter but also a dirty container. So if you're careful and you leverage your resources and you don't waste them, you can cut the top off of this bottle, leverage the top, and that's going to be the container you need to actually gather your water. So as we were heading down the shoreline, it was pretty rugged. Not a lot of great places to actually make it down to the water and have the resources that we needed. So we took our time and we actually made it to this area where it's a little more sandy, which is going to work to our advantage. First and foremost, the sun's beating on us now. We're warming up. It feels really good getting that solar advantage. But even furthermore, now we have sand. This is a critical resource for what we need to make this filter. So moving forward, I'm going to start to process this bottle. I'm going to use the knife here, literally just cut the top off. I'm going to go down maybe about 1.5 inches or 2 inches. That's going to leave us more than enough space for the filter inside the bottle and also give me my container. So there we go, a little ragged on the cut, but not a big deal. Now the next thing, what we're gonna do, I'm actually gonna put some holes in the bottom of the bottle here. And the reason being, we're gonna leave the cap on, and we're gonna let the water actually trickle out the holes. We're gonna actually leverage some sticks, and we're gonna wedge this into our clean container, and the water's just gonna filter out. There's a few ways you could go about doing this. You could take the cap off and let the water filter down through the bottom. We're actually going to slow the filter rate down just a little bit, and we're just going to go nice and careful here and drill some easy holes right into this. And that there should be just about good. If we find the filter rates too slow, we can go back after, add a couple of additional little holes, or if we really had to, start to crack the bottom off the bottle. Not a big deal. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take a flat rock. I'm gonna drop that right down in the bottom. It's got some gaps in it, but the reason why I'm doing that, if the worst case scenario, I need a little more filter rate and I have to take the cap off, that's gonna keep all the charcoal inside the filter. Now, you saw us, we've been working hard to gather as much of this charcoal as we could. There's a few things you can do to get enough. If you are smart and while you make your fire and throughout the night, you take your time and you actually gather some of this charcoal as you go. It's going to save you a bunch of energy. So here at this point we have more than enough. We're going to start to fill our actual filter with the charcoal. And you can see the nice thing about the Possibles pouch, just gives you a nice easy platform to work out of. I'm going to try to go roughly 1/3. Try to avoid the super large chunks, but that there is going to be more than enough. So the next stage of filtration for us is going to be the sand. We need to be careful because the sand on the surface could be contaminated. So we're going to take our time. We're actually going to dig down a little ways, try to get to some cleaner sand, get away from any bird droppings, animal droppings, anything that may be in here. So just digging down a little bit. The sand is going to be perfect for exactly what we need. Again, the sand is going to be critical for the filtration. We're going to do about 1/3. That's going to be about right. Now, while we were hiking around, always keeping an eye out for your resources, we did find some grass. Now this grass is going to be the top stage of the filter, and then on top of this we have that moss. So again, filling this almost to the very top with the grass. Getting a nice little bundle. There's going to be some sticks. Pull those out. Try to get it to the point where you end up with just the grass. Minimize leaves because that'll kind of clog it up a little bit. You do want the water to pass through here easy, but then trap some larger things at the same time. Now this might be a little too much. I'm going to just thin it out just enough. Leaving a little gap on the top for that moss, but this should be just about right. I'm not going to pack it too tight, just enough to get it into the top. And now finally, just these pieces of moss. I'm going to try to get it complete around the top to the best of my ability, fill in some of the gaps, and that's going to help to trap any of the larger particles as we get this filter going. So now that we have our filter, again, we're going to leverage the metal bottle as our clean container. Just being careful here. As we get this set inside, we're going to wedge this in place. The water's going to trickle out of these holes, and that should work out pretty well. Now, we're going to have to run the water probably a couple times to really clean it up, depending on how dirty it is. So that's why having multiple containers can work to your advantage. In this particular case, we're just going to filter it once. It should be more than enough. So a few things that are definite considerations. This will consolidate. So you may need to run water through it first before you actually filter into your canteen. And the other thing, as I mentioned, I did have the suspicion that I may need to loosen the cap on the bottom. And you can see here, that kind of changes the game. Now watch here. As I open this up, you will see some charcoal, a little bit of sediment and debris coming out. So again, this filter, we may need to run just a few times to clear it out. And if we are able to do that, it should actually filter better in the end. So what we're going to do, just run some water through here, let this all consolidate, and at this point you can see it's actually coming out nice and clear. So it makes a big difference just taking your time, figuring it out, and seeing what works best. All right, so again, the point being, if you have the cap off, you might find your filtration rate is too fast. So here you'll see, as we introduce the water, it makes it down. That's coming out a little bit fast for us. We want to slow that rate down, get the contact time through the charcoal, let everything filter down real nice. The slower the water moves, the better it's going to filter at the end of the day. So again, that's the reason for keeping this cap. You don't need to crush it all the way down. Just a couple little spins of the thread there. That's going to work just enough to slow this down. And at this point, we're pretty well adjusted. We have everything sort of settled into the filter, and we're ready to get ourselves our clean water, and we'll be good to go. So now, should be about the last run through this. This isn't perfect. You can see there is some charcoal in there. Not a big deal, but it should be good enough to drink. And that's gonna get us home.
All right, so very important, no matter what outdoor scenario you're in, you have a way to carry something. Whether it's a couple of pieces of paracord that you're able to strap on extra gear or logs or branches you see along the way, or simply put, most people have pockets, cargo pockets, a pouch. A lot of times when I go hiking, I'm actually bringing a carry-all, what's called a possibles pouch. And I'm old school sometimes, and I actually like the actual waxed canvas cotton. And these are just simple. You'll open them up. It was wet from the rain last night. And you can put your grass, charcoal, birch bark, pine needles, whatever it is, with you. But in a really tough situation, you can actually use these to carry water. Wax canvas helps. Get some of this ice out of the way. Just dip it in. And literally, if you need to get it to your filtration system, or if you want to somehow douse a fire, whatever it may be, but it's amazing how well these carry water, and for long periods of time. And as that cotton swells, you'll actually reduce the dripping and become more watertight.
Joe, Eric, remember your training.
We got enough water to get out of here, however long that takes, but we know how to filter again if we need to. But right now, in case we're stuck out here one more night, or we have to hunt, I absolutely want some sort of protection and ability to procure a frog, a fish, whatever. So we're gonna make a gig spear.
A gig spear is a great multi-purpose tool. It's great for hunting around the water. That's what its primary design was for. Gigging was used to get frogs. So you ever heard of frog gigging? That's where it comes from. Also lizards and snakes, and it's very good even for fish. I've seen it used to kill small mammals, as well as a little bit maybe medium-sized mammals to kind of pin them down. Then you go in and dispatch them with your knife. So it's a very good multi-purpose hunting tool. So the first thing you got to do is you get yourself a nice sapling. I like these a little bit thinner than a normal spear, roughly about 1 inch in diameter at the base.
Finding that nice wood surface to have the ability, almost like a workbench or processing bench, goes a long way. Not doing any work over a rock that could damage our blade or deflect off, and worst case scenario, glance us. We want this absolutely taller than us because I plan on using it as a hiking stick. Also a long range, good distance gig spear, again for protection and or food gathering if we need to.
Again, this one is quite a bit longer than I am because I want it to be extra long if I'm trying to get something that's in the water way away. So this one here is about 8 feet, but it's your preference. I've seen people make them shorter. I like these particular types of spears just to be a little bit longer.
Getting the spear point.
First thing I got to do is up here at the end. This is where the spear point's going to be.
I'm going to make it easy. I'm just going to get the spear prepared from this way.
And it's not going to be a regular spear point. What it's going to have is 4 prongs in it. So I've got to baton this down, cut it in half, and cut it in half again, so I'll have 4 pieces to work with. So that's what I'm going to do now. And we're going to go down about 6 inches with the split. You see I've got it split there. Okay, I'm going to split it again in half. You don't want to break your item before you even get going. With that knife in there, I got 4 prongs, so you can see how this is going to develop there, right?
Okay, so here we have our quad cuts, made it nice and deep so it's easier to expand. We use this slightly smaller one for the bottom wedge.
All right, your next step when you're making your gig is you need 2 spreader sticks. One is a little bit fatter than the other one. This thinner one will go in first, and then the fat one will go on top of that to spread the stick so you can sharpen your gig spear points. So I'm going to put this one in here first, and I'm going to pull it back in there as far as I can to make sure these spread out really well. Now, you can see I've got the makings of a good gig spear with 4 points.
Next thing we're going to do, we're going to wrap it.
We want to secure
Want this nice and strong.
these spreader sticks in here, and we do that using parachute cord.
Applied paracord.
Now, if you can find vines to do it, great. I always say if you can utilize vines instead of cordage, that's always a great thing.
To make things easier, we're going to start with a little loop.
So I'm going to go ahead and make a slip knot in here. Now all I'm going to do is pull that down nice and tight and go underneath the skinnier stick over to the other fat stick and back under. Now I come up over top and back under, over top, back under, and back over top. Now that keeps them pretty much in place.
Now we're going to go over the spears, the prongs. I'm going to get it in, cross it, get both sides.
So what you see I'm doing here now is I'm coming back through the spreaders over the sticks, creating a frapping. So I've got several fraps in there now. And what that's going to do is help tighten all of this in place.
Top locked in.
All right, what I'm doing now is I'm actually wrapping the paracord to go down the shaft to keep this reinforced where I've split the wood.
Tie this off now.
So it has no chance of breaking while I'm hunting. All right, I've tied the end off there. It's all good to go. Nice and reinforced. Now the only thing left to do, sharpen the points.
Do a little bit of trimming.
All right, as you can see, starting to come along pretty good. Work the outside really well, starting to work in between. And now I gotta work on the inside a little bit, and I'll make these into fine precision points to get the job done right.
Okay.
Aha. There they are, 4 points. Look at them babies. They're ready to go now.
Yeah, I would not want to be in the receiving end of that.
Ready for hunting. All I gotta do is go kind of fire harden these babies up. We're ready to get out there and get us some food.
So what I like about this, we fall, we're not in any jeopardy of the spears, but in case you do see a predator, a wolverine, a bear, anything, right, a mountain lion, we have enough distance to stay back. And if we need to, we're in water, creek, marsh, and we happen to see a big bullfrog or a big old fish, you got it. All right, we procured some leaves. All right, so now we have our gig spear mostly done. The last piece is to get these prongs, as you see, a little bit of flexible. We want to get them fire hardened. So use your judgment. Better your fire hardened, the stronger it is, the more life-saving ability it is going to have.
Whoa, Joe, hey.
What?
Hey, look, over there. Dude.
What? Is that the trail?
I think it is, let's look.
It is, dude!
I think it is.
Get out of here, man.
This is it.
See that blaze marker?
This is it.
I think this is it, Eric.
Yes. Both Eric and Joe worked well as a team. They mentally got it together and got the task done. They apply what they learned in the video properly, and because of this, their XSR goes up to 6.9. Great job, fellas. Yeah!
I was really nervous when we went the wrong way. I thought Joe knew exactly where we were going. We just happened to go the wrong way. It really left us in a vulnerable position.
It's truly amazing how a day hike can go bad. You know, survival is not something you ever want. Luckily for Eric and I, we both practice backyard bushcraft.
But I knew with a good partner, we'd be able to pull through.
It was a wonderful experience. Eric and I worked very well together. It's something that you have to prepare for. But take the time to read, to listen to people who've been there. Watch survival videos from folks like EJ Snyder.
The EJ Skullcrusher Snyder Survival and Outdoor Skills series definitely came into play. We remembered our training and we made it out safe.